Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the witnesses. I want to tell Mr. Byrd on the port truck drivers, we're with you. We think that this has been an area where the State of California has been long trying to get some clarity and some assistance to this independent truck driver, so thank you for your help. I'm also very concerned, Mr. Byrd, about the increase in truck size. And Mr. Chairman, I have an email from Highway Patrol, California Highway Patrol, opposing increased truck weights because it creates much more violent and damaging crashes, and it goes on to give other information. And also the Peace Office Research Association sent a letter in, actually in February 2013, in regard to the same thing, saying that they oppose efforts to increase truck size and weight. For the record, Mr. Chairman? The two letters for the record. Thank you, sir. The issue was raised when I was in the State Assembly in California back in the 90s. And the truck weights and sizes affect the stopping distances, the braking, the vehicle stability control. Many of the highways and on-ramps and off-ramps in California just cannot handle the large trucks. And I know a couple of years ago there was an effort to increase the tandem 53-footers, and we also opposed that simply because our on-ramps, off-ramps, and highways are not able to handle the tandem 53-footers. The fact that it does save lives, and there's a couple of people in the audience who have had family members killed in accidents, and I think we need to, Mr. Chairman, allow them to have an entry into the record about the reason why they feel it is that necessity to be able to allow the general public to have a weigh-in on this, because it's their safety we're talking about. So the other thing, Mr. Byrd, is DOT recently decided to allow Mexican truck companies to apply for authority to operate long-haul trucking services in the United States. We went over that issue a couple of years back here in this committee. It based its decision on the results of a pilot required by the Congress to determine the safety of long-haul trucking operations beyond the border and commercial zones in the U.S. But the Inspector General issued a report saying DOT reached its conclusion based on unreliable data that the small sample of participating motor carriers was not sufficiently representative to allow DOT to apply the study's results to all Mexican truck companies. Well, unfortunately, NAFTA requires it, if I remember correctly. This is one of the parts of the agreement. But we need to be sure that if we're going to allow these trucking companies, that they meet all the safety requirements that we have on our trucking companies, on all of our operations. And if you believe that limited inspections conducted on these trucks during the pilot program provided enough information to support their decision to allow them on our U.S. roads. And Mr. Schnotz, would you comment on that?
Yes, I would be happy to. No, we do not think that the inspections and the data that are being used to open that border up are at all adequate. We saw a lot of nonconformances and inspections during the program. We pointed those out. And it wasn't even really meeting the definition of a pilot program because of the way it was structured. But those out-of-service violations were not being properly flagged and then recorded and then reported. And with that overlooked data and then a far less amount of data than what they initially said they were going to find and use, there's no way that this is at all representative of the Mexican trucking industry as a whole.
Well, we had great concerns over the ability to keep track of their driving hours, one, of the ability to have trucks operate with the same conditions we asked of our own trucks, with the language issue, with the hazardous material carried on there. And there were many of those issues that have been discussed ad nauseum, may I add. And I think we need to be able to ensure that if we do that, we do provide them with some how would I say, something to follow so that we can tell them that they will be able to operate, but they have to have their trucks. I did speak to the Mexican consulate or somebody on the other side, and they indicated to me that all their trucks met the specs and that they were new trucks. Well, I beg to differ, and I told them so. So we need to be sure that you let us know, because this is an issue of safety on our side, and that's something we all need to be concerned about. And thank you, Mr. Chair.